Hello everyone, thanks so much for joining. This video is all about NPV and IRR in capital allocation. I'll just give you a brief overview what NPV is, what IRR is, and I will also give you another way if you don't have all the information available to give you an idea how to assess how and when to invest. So capital allocation in general is the process used by management to make capital investments and return. Should I invest in a new production? Should I buy another company? Should I invest and initiate this project? And what is the return I receive? We are using three main tools. The two of the most widely used ones to make investment analysis are NPV, net present value, and IRR, internal rate of return. We have a third one. If you don't have access to investment projects, NPV and IRR are usually used by employees of the company who have certain project information and know exactly which kind of cash flows belong to certain assets or certain projects. If you are an outside analyst and you only have highly aggregated, consolidated financial statements, then another way of calculate and analyze investment decision is using ROIC, return on invested capital. For cricket rather than project formation. Yeah, I do this later. I will do another video on return on invested capital. For now, NPV and internal rate of return. So NPV, what is NPV? NPV of an investment is the present value in currency terms of the affected future cash inflows, whatever you get from the investment, whatever cash inflow you receive over the period of time that you invest in this product, that this investment is generating cash, minus the initial investment costs. Yeah. So what does it mean? It means, for example, if you have a few years, year 0, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, and year 5, it means you invest money, cash goes out, because you invest in a production machine or you invest in a project, you invest in another company, and then what you receive is over a certain period, sometimes forever, cash comes in. Cash in, cash in, cash in, cash in. And what you basically do is you compare those cash flows, the cash that goes out, with all the cash flows that come in, and see whether this is positive or negative, which is obvious. If you spend more initially than the cash flows that come in, then you shouldn't invest. However, if those positive cash flows in year 1 to year 5 are higher than what you have initially invested, then it's a good investment. The only thing that we need to do whenever we talk about cash flows, we cannot just add up those numbers. We cannot compare the $100 you receive here with the $50 you receive here and the $50 you receive here, we need to adjust for time because there's a time difference. So we need to include time value of money into consideration, which means our formula is as follows. NPV equals cash flow that goes out plus CF1, 1 plus discount rate plus cash flow in year 2, 1 plus discount rate to the power of 2, and so on and so forth, plus CF, and then whatever, in our case, year 5, you can even do it for 100 years, time 1 plus RT. Yeah, and in mathematical terms, if you want to consolidate, equals, start from 0, CF 1 plus RT, which includes every single here. CF is the cash flow, can be positive, can be negative. R, very important, required rate of return, the rate of return that investors could earn on a similarly risky investment. I come to this and I've done another video already. Only thing, whenever you look at those cash flows, you need to use signs, negative or positive, whether it's a cash inflow or a cash outflow. So in our example, you would use CF negatively and then positively, whatever comes in. The investment decision would be invest if NPV and do not invest if NPV. Yeah, even if NPV is 0, you would invest because our discount rate is our hurdle rate, is what investors would request from investing. If investors say, okay, I'm investing 100 initially here, but because I'm waiting for my money, if all the other cash flows here in present value terms, if they would be 100, I would not do it because then my NPV would be 0. So the discount rate here always includes your hurdle rate, which means even if your NPV is 0, it means you have discounted your cash flows already at a rate that compensates you for initially investing. Yeah, so even if NPV is 0, you would invest because this cash flow pattern here would give you a return of 10%, for example, if NPV is 0. Yeah, so invest if NPV is 0 or exceeds 0. Do not invest if it's negative, because if it's negative means you have invested more than you have gotten out. If we look at internal rate of return, it's quite similar. Internal rate of return is the discount rate that makes the net present value of an investment equal to 0. The formula for IRR, T equals 0, CF cash flow, 1 plus IRR over T equals 0. It's similar. We are not using our hurdle rate, our discount rate. We are using our internal rate of return, which would make our NPV 0. The investment rule is invest if IRR. Do not invest if IRR smaller. Yeah, required rate of return, this is this one, is also referred to as hurdle rate. This is what investors require for investing in this investment. If IRR is equal to R, the project is theoretically acceptable because it meets the required return with an NPV of 0. If it's higher, it's even better. Yeah, there are few nuances in terms of IRR and NPV. NPV is usually the better approach because first it gives you currency terms, which sometimes you really want to know, okay, in currency terms, in dollar, US dollar, Australian dollar, what is the value of my investment? And also IRR assumes, because we are discounting every single cash flow, IRR assumes you are discounting your cash flows at your internal rate of return, which is practically not the case. So yeah, if NPV and IRR lead to different rules, to different suggestions, you would stick with NPV, but for general investment decisions, NPV and IRR should lead to the same outcome. I will make another video on the details and explain you a bit more about those two analysis. However, as an introduction, I hope you found this useful. Thank you so much for listening. Bye bye.